The main topic of the meeting are the issues of supporting Ukraine in the military, humanitarian, and political terms. President Andrzej Duda assured that Poland would continue providing aid as long as it was necessary. People in Western Europe are not fully aware of what this means: Russian aggression, Russian imperialism, here in Ukraine as well as in the Baltic states and in Poland, and in all the other countries behind the Iron Curtain in the Soviet sphere of influence. People know very well what Russian imperialism is. Although Ukraine lost control over Crimea 8 years ago, Ukrainians do not accept this loss and will always try to regain the peninsula. In the opinion of the authorities in Kiev, if in 2014 the reaction of the West was determined, Ukrainian cities would not be shelled from Crimea and the Sea of Azov today. Since February 24th, 750 different cruise missiles have been launched in the direction of our cities from the occupied Crimea. We are talking about 750 missiles that destroyed hundreds of civilian infrastructure facilities in 6 months, including schools, universities, apartment blocks, and hospitals. Therefore, the restoration of control over the Crimean Peninsula by Ukraine will be a historic anti-war step in Europe. Meanwhile, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson fears that failure to react to the aggressive Moscow imperialism will lead to more conflicts.
Crimea, Putin deployed more and more Russian forces in the peninsula, turning the territory into an armed camp from which to threaten the rest of Ukraine. And so Crimea duly became the launch pad for the invasion on the 24th of February, or one of the launch pads.
On the eve of the 31st anniversary of regaining independence, Ukraine must continue to fight for its sovereignty. For security reasons, the authorities have banned public celebrations this week, and yet the Ukrainians will go out on the street tomorrow to demonstrate their patriotism and courage. So far, 5,500 civilians have died in Ukraine. The blue and yellow flag of Ukraine will once again fly where it has its right to be, in all temporarily occupied cities and villages of Ukraine, in Melitopol, on the Victory Square, in Kherson on the Freedom Square. In these and other places, the flags of those who do not know what freedom means must disappear. We will never recognize other colors on our land. We are always ready to defend our flag. Cities in eastern Ukraine near the front lines are a constant target of Russian shelling. Yesterday, missiles hit Toretsk and nearby Konstantinovka, where they damaged, among others, the school. The situation is particularly difficult in these places. There is no water in the city at the moment, both for drinking and technical purposes. That is why, together with the municipal services, we provide water and prepare containers so that people can come to get the water. There is no water and gas in this area. The electricity is only available in the city center, but it is also turned off there. Inhabitants around Europe's largest nuclear power plant fear a nuclear disaster. The Zaporizhzhia power plant has been a strategic point for Russian troops for months. Yesterday, they introduced 2 armored personnel carriers and 6 trucks into the facility. We have developed procedures that will help us protect ourselves in the event of a power plant failure. They have been developed as part of civil defense activities and emergency procedures. The missiles have so far only hit storage facilities for nuclear waste and nuclear isotopes, but these blocks are at a dangerous distance from reactors. It is worth noting that if there is a hit, we will have a global catastrophe. The security service of the Russian Federation accused the Ukrainian services of killing a journalist and propagandist, Daria Dugina, and disclosed the personal data of the alleged perpetrator of the attack. The Ukrainian regiment Azov stated that it was not responsible for the death of the daughter of the Kremlin's chief ideologist and denied rumors that the suspect belonged to the unit. The woman whose name and military ID were published has nothing to do with the Azov regiment and never belonged to our unit. I will not be surprised if my friends, under the influence of torture, sign the appropriate statements tomorrow. These services try to imitate court proceedings. Anyone who has the ability to think critically understands that the conclusion is already known. Now they will try to add facts, even of low quality, to prove this theory. Ruined Bucha is a city that has been particularly affected by Russian cruelty. The local priest was tasked with burying the bodies of hundreds of civilians found in mass graves in the city. 419 people died as a result of the shelling. These people were buried in several mass graves. The largest one was next to the church. This grave contained 116 people, including 30 women and 2 children. The sad thing is that there are more mass graves like that. For the first time, the Ukrainian side reported military personnel losses suffered as a result of the fights with Russian forces. Since February 24th, almost 9,000 Ukrainian soldiers have died.